Oh,
Must be Tuesday.
it's
And the
Tuesday.
Lord said, you got to rise up. What's going on? What's happening? What's the deal? Konnichiwa, aloha, wherever you may be. This is Down in Sports Talk. I am left-handed at RM Des on Twitter. Get at me. My ubiquitous Code D is in the building. That's Yada Bear over there. Make sure you holler at her because she'll definitely holler back. Um, a lot going on, even though it's kind of slow motion, but there's still a lot going on if you into sports like that. You know what I mean? We're going to definitely talk about 7 on 7. You know what I mean? Cam Newton. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the court storming situation. We got some, some views on that, and you can chime in too. You know what I mean? Jump in the chat room. All right, Facebook. You know what I mean? YouTube. However you choose to rock it. Rock with us down in Sports Talk. Gotta bear what's good.
Man, not much chilling. A lot of talk going around about this Cam Newton situation. That was wild to see. You
All I
know,
know
I
is we got
didn't.
products. That's all I know. We got
You know, just
products, y'all. That's all I know. You know what I mean? We got products, yo. That's all I know. We got products, you heard? Go ahead. Browski's in the building. Let's go. Let's get
it's
it down in Sports Talk, y'all.
just been crazy. So we want to start with the Cam Newton. Talk about Cam.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that. I mean, I wanted to get your perspective on it, and then I want to say a few things, man, because it's a lot of different situations going on from 24 hours ago as opposed to now regarding that situation. But
Yeah.
when I first jumped off, I was like, wow, Cam is seems like to be he's an easy mark. And when I say easy mark, I don't mean it in the way like light work or lightweight or he's shook. I mean it like he is, he'll speak to you on that level. You know what I mean? A lot of these other cats is corporate. Cam is the street. So in that situation, the corporate and the street intermixed. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Hmm.
Cam is gonna talk he's gonna talk his talk. And I'm not mad at Cam Newton. I'm not mad. These young cats be talking, running off at the yap, talking out the side of their neck, really don't know what they're talking about. And Cam is a little bit older than them cats, but young enough to get it in with them. But not on a physical note. But yeah, he can defend his position, speak his mind. You know what I mean? If you can spit with a spitter, then do it. You know what I'm saying? The history of it, he had situations a couple of years ago when the kid said something about he's a bum or whatever. He said his bank account, he came back with a retort like anybody else would. You say something slick to me, I'm gonna hit you back. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, well, they were youngsters and this and that and the third. But then disrespect that man. You wouldn't have tried that with Tom Brady. You definitely wouldn't have tried that with Peyton Manning or Eli Manning or Arch Manning or Archie Manning. You wouldn't have tried that with none of them. We could go down the line. Would you have tried that with Shador Sanders? Would you have tried that with Justin Fields? Oh, would you have tried that with Lamar Jackson? Let's get it. He get down. He gets with the. He's with the shits. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, and again, I saw the other video when the coach was chastising the player for being up in the camera and not being focused on what's going on, and he kind of like talked to him. Listen, he was letting him have it. You know what I mean? But he didn't buck up at the coach. And so again, that's why I say these cats pick and choose their spots. And they feel like they can say anything to Cam Newton because of how he's perceived. He's not perceived like a Geno Smith, a guy who wouldn't really even come down to do these 7-on-7 camps. So again, I mean, they said, well, Cam, he shouldn't do it and he should stop, and that's why we can't have nothing in the community and things of that. That might be the case. But at the end of the day, you got somebody like Cam Newton who's willing to say, you know what, I come from that. Let me, deal with my people. But at the end of the day, this is not how you treat somebody who wants to give back. Regardless of how much junk he talk to you. That's the name of the game. You just talking. If you can't verbalize and you trying to get at somebody and you shorten the game, then shut up. So again, at the end of the day, these kids, these youngsters, these fresh baby breaths is what I call them. They put themselves in grown people's positions, and when they are dealt with like grown people, that's a problem. Oh, they're kids. Word. But I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. This is not the first time that a situation like that's happened with Cam. It probably won't be the last, right? People want to blame the security, which was definitely lax. Absolutely, absolutely. They want to talk about Cam, and all Cam was doing was defending himself. He was holding these dudes off, like, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't, really doing nothing serious, no damage to him or nothing like that. But the topic of conversation is going to be, here we are again. They're disrespecting this man, and he's stooping down to their level and things of that nature. So I said my piece on it. Yada Bear, where do you stand on the situation with Cam Newton?
I think it was extremely embarrassing and disrespectful for these young men to act that way towards Cam. I mean, when we talking about an event, 7 versus 7, where they
Mhm.
basically doing drills with the
Right,
quarterback,
right,
wide receiver, running back, getting you ready, prepare for the season, prepare for you to if you're going to college, prepare for you if you even one of them guys that may be going to the combine.
right.
And to have a person of Cam Newton stature to come out here and to put on these drills for you and for you to act like this towards him is utterly ridiculous. It don't matter what Cam said. You know, I don't care if he provoked them. Who cares? The fact that they had the audacity, the nerve, and the balls to attack this grown man. He's like 6'5", 240 professional football player to attack him like that is soft. It's weird to me. And if he doesn't want to do it again, I wouldn't blame him. I would suggest for him to not do it in the hood anymore. You guys want if he wants to continue to put on this tournament or put on this 7 versus 7 event, I would do it at like a school, at like a college, and so that you can be in a controlled environment, have proper security, and invite who you want to invite. Unfortunately, Malik or Raheem from the hood, who had a great high school season, unfortunately he may not be invited because look who you are associated with. You know, for it to be out and open like that, for them to be that close to him, it was crazy, and I kind of blame the media for this too because Cam Newton has always been the butt of the jokes. You know, they a lot of crazy things been said about him on First Take, Undisputed, Get Up. For years people been coming at Cam like crazy. Ever since the Super Bowl,
Yep.
oh, Cam
Which he
Cam gave
which he
blah blah
brought
blah
which he brought
blah.
that kind of on himself. Hmm.
But what I'm saying is the media is also hyping up the set. So now when you got these kids now who are complete savages out here,
Hmm.
most majority of these kids don't have any type of home training or respect for anybody, not even their self.
Right.
And you have Cam
Bad.
Newton here who's putting on this event for you guys, and just the lack of disrespect. So they hear all this stuff that Stephen A. and Marcellus Wiley and Skip and been saying, like dogging him out on certain things. So then when they see him in person, there's no respect there. So
Hmm.
therefore you can say whatever you want to say to him. He just another dude out here. So what? He got money. These kids don't care, and 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 they roll in packs. as you seen, it wasn't no one-on-one affair. It was like 7 of them, and he still
Right.
dragged them through the mud, like because he's a different type of human. And I do agree that with it being in Atlanta, he is lucky that no one pulled out anything or no one got serious injured. Like he didn't get seriously injured because he's in Atlanta. You know, anything goes down there, they'll shoot in a moment. So thank goodness that nothing like that happened. But it was just a crazy situation. We wouldn't seen that if it was, like you said, Tom Brady, Peyton, Eli, Aaron Rodgers. It wouldn't have been like that. And Cam gonna have to realize that you can't put yourself in these type of situations because people out here don't care. They
That's
don't
right.
have any respect for life. And just because they're having a bad day or they can be jealous and envious of him, they'll just take his life for no reason, for an argument, for saying you're bummed because you didn't catch that pass. Now you want to shoot. Now you want to fight. Now all 7 of you guys want to roll on Cam Newton.
Right.
So I just think it was corny. I think these kids are soft. I think they are all savages, and I blame their parents. I blame them, and it's just a lot to blame. But I don't want to hear no apologies from Cam. I'm looking forward to hearing his side of the story because I did see a clip where the two coaches were talking and how they kind of try to justify it and saying, well, Cam was the aggressive. He said something first. I can say whatever I want to say out my mouth. It
Right.
doesn't want to put your hands on me.
Right.
I can say
That's right.
whatever. So by them saying that, I think was cap. Um, they're just trying to save face, and they should have apologized on behalf of their organization to Cam Newton, but they didn't do that because they want to point fingers at him. So
They want to point fingers at everybody else except for themselves.
exactly. So it's just
Um,
it's just crazy.
yeah, and that's even and that speaks volumes to where their mindset is. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like you feel like Cam, you want an equal footing with Cam Newton when you're actually not. And I'm not gonna deviate too far from the topic, but for me it's like
Hmm.
this. It's like, for example, when people call into to the big homie Star Report, they call into the Star Report, and knowing how the format goes, you know what I mean? Just the first thing come out their mouth is F this and mother F this and this and that and the
Yeah.
third, right? And so I say that to say you wouldn't call into no, other type of station sounding off like that. You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Hmm.
So again, at the end of the day, it's like they feel like they can, do that and then say, oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. But again, you're just showing you don't know how to conduct yourself and have a normal conversation without throwing all this nonsense in the mix, which is nothing anyway. It's just a bunch of adjectives that you add into the conversation because you can't think of nothing else to say. So for me, it's like the respect has to come, and it did come, Browski. Look when the coach was talking to the kid. What did that kid do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
again, it's not like they really out of their mind and don't know what's going on. And nah, that's not it. They know
No.
exactly what the hell is going on.
I know they know what they're doing. That's why I said it's the lack of disrespect and all of the audacity that they have. Like someone owed them something, or they
Right,
have the right to do this,
right,
or or you can't say this about them. Like who are you?
right,
People. Everybody want to talk about respect, but you gotta earn respect to get respect, and they are not. They wasn't respectful at all. It's sad to see, but I see why a lot of people don't go back to their neighborhoods to do
right,
things
right,
because of this type of turnout, especially in this day and age. People
right,
die for less, and
right,
people with
right.
less get killed
About
by
preaching right now.
somebody else who's trying to get something from them. So
Uh-huh.
ah, it's just a
I
sad,
mean,
sad thing to see.
Yeah, it's definitely sad, absolutely sad. And again, um, it makes you not want to even, like you said, from the professional level, not even want to, come down to the, and I say that respectfully, come down to the
Hmm.
hood and kind of
Yeah.
like, say, I'm here, I'm somebody that wants to give back and reach back. I ain't forget about y'all. But at the end of the day, who wants to come back to that? You know what I'm saying? And again,
Hmm.
um, Cam is not a punching bag. Cam is a very articulate dude. He
Yeah.
carries himself. He will be Cam. You know what I mean? And again, at
Hmm.
the end of the day, I think that for him to I think it's all about in the how he carries it because he gonna spit fire right back at you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So at the end of the day, it took this for people to realize that hey, man, it's these kids, man, they could take it. They could dish it out all day, but they can't take it at all.
Not at all.
They can dish it all day long, ha ha ha, whoop de woo, and this and that and the third. But when you get at them, they
Yeah.
don't got nothing to say, but they're gonna use that pent up energy to put it out on somebody else that they can get at. That's all that.
Hmm.
That's all that was. He got in that kid's face and he was like, "Yo, what is you doing?" He called them all types of lames, and the
Yeah.
dude ain't say nothing. He ain't say nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I
Crazy.
mean? So again, at the end of the day, it's just how you put your foot down to these cats, man.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's earning respect, and sometimes you got to demand it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I'm gonna talk to you like what? And what you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, at the end of the day, I feel like you know, I feel like you, Cam, should kind of like just, do it in a I don't know, affluent neighborhood. I don't
Or
know.
just have
You know what I
it,
mean?
or just have it at a neutral spot that's more controlled. Like I said, like inside of like a junior college stadium or a community
Mhm.
college field or something like that. Because doing it in the hood, it's just not working.
In that scenario, in that type of intimate, it was
Hmm.
kind of close. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's the spirit of the camp. You know what I mean? That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to, you know what I mean, have a catch with your favorite player, or you know what I mean. Like you're talking to, they're taking time out of their busy schedule to talk to you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Well, obviously, that way can't happen with Cam. It can't happen with him. But moving
Yeah.
on.
So moving right along, we're going to get into to the topic of discussion. Um, yeah, we're gonna make it do what it do. Those Philadelphia Phillies, my New York Yankees. I think we still have a outside chance to try to get Blake Snell. Juan Soto wants that. You know what I mean? And now I'm just thinking that really, is Juan Soto like a 1 year rental? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not really like again, Browski. I'm not caught up in that. Sign your long term deal. Let me know you're trying to be here. You know what I mean? And if not, it's just you just here for the season. You know what I'm saying? Um, Rizzo said he's not. He's healed from his concussions and all of that. So that's a good sign. Like I said last week, John Carlos Stanton is slim and trim. Hope that adds up to those holes getting taken out of his bat because he
Hmm.
has his own air. He had his own air conditioning company. The way he be striking out. Aaron Judge, don't worry about hitting 60 home runs. All right, worry about making the playoffs. Worry about getting home field advantage. Worry about winning the division. Um, when is the baseball preview? Because the season starts March the 20th in Korea. In Korea, I think the Dodgers and the Padres play. And those games count.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll still be exhibition season. So when do you want to do
Yeah.
it?
Um. I mean, we could do it probably do what the week before the season starts.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So that's
Yeah.
that's that's what that is. Um, as far as right now, I'm looking for just us to be respectable. I'm not, I'm thinking that Baltimore might take a step back. That's the only thing. I'm thinking Baltimore might take a step back this year. Those young guys, They had a taste of it. Everybody had great seasons. That whole lineup, up and down,
Mm,
from Mullins, the Rushman, you know what I mean, to the Gunner, you know what I mean. And they got a new dude coming up, the Jackson Holiday kid. He's coming up. He's next in
yeah,
line. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Then they signed Corbin Burns. So I mean, the Orioles gonna do their thing, but I don't think it's gonna be like it was last year. Um, what's your thoughts as far as the National League is concerned? Your Phillies.
Well, it is, we look like we're in the mindset we're going to run it back with basically the same team as last season. We did add with Merrifield from the Jays, so that was a good pickup. Um, I was really looking for them to try to push for Corey Seager, but I guess they just figured they're going to stick with Rojas and Brandon Marsh as like a platoon at center field. Um, Rojas came back to spring training like really jacked, but I need him to be able to hit in that ninth spot. That was the big hole for us, especially in the postseason. So our bats were ice cold, especially at the bottom half of the order. Um, but as far as the rest of the National League, I'm not looking for the division most likely is going to go right back to the Braves because the Braves are a regular season team. Um, they're running it back with basically the same group of guys that took the division last year. So I'm not really worried about like, oh, the Phillies are have to win the division. I'm not stressing on that because, as I always say, just open up the door for us in the wild card. We make it do what it do in the wild card. Um, I always say that my team is a postseason team. We'll win 89, maybe 92 games. Maybe like last season we won what like 92 games. So that was like, oh wow, we won like 92 games. That was cool, but we still made it to the NLCS. So I've been saying this for years. I don't care if you win 101 games, 110 games, 112 games, 108 games, because when the postseason starts, we all 0-0. We all 0-0 when the postseason starts. So I
And
don't
and
really,
and, and
you know,
those short series will come back and bite you in the butt.
exactly. So as Atlanta knows, that's why Atlanta don't ever want to see us in the postseason. They hate seeing us in the postseason because they know that's an L for them. So let's
What
just
do
get
you
ready.
What do you think about them taking 2 more seconds off the pitch clock?
I think it's perfectly fine. It's been a whole season. You should be used to this already.
You
You
talking
should
to?
be used to it already. It shouldn't take you this long to get back into your pitching stance. After you throw a pitch. I love it. 2 seconds off, meaning guess what? That's two
Game over
seconds
even
off.
faster, right?
Hey, game over fast. Like, can I? I want to see more games under 2 hours.
Right,
Okay,
right.
because during the regular season, near the end of the season, the time start going up a little bit more, like from like 2:30 to about 2:40, because players had started to learn how to manipulate the clock in their use. For them, stepping off the mound, or the guy in the batter box, or the catcher got to come up and talk to us because something's wrong with the pitch count. Not wrong with the
Mm,
pitch count. What's wrong with the pitch count? What's wrong is your pitcher needs a couple more seconds for you can throw that pitch. So before you get a ball, let me get up and
mm-hmm.
run out to the mound real quick and have a talk about nothing. So them
Right.
taking
Talk
off
right,
2 more seconds,
right.
I love it. And like I said, and you still got spring training, so it should be no complaints when the regular season starts. That now is what 14 seconds. No, I need you to be ready and throw the ball when it's like 4 seconds left on the pitch count instead of two. Now, if and now next season, if it's gonna be 2 more seconds, I would love it too. Keep the game flowing. This is why people are watching. Keep it going. No one's had to sit in the stadium for 4 hours. Okay, the
That's
game.
true.
No,
That's
look.
true.
Game started at 7. and I'm not getting home to 2 in the morning
No, no,
because
that's
the game didn't
crazy.
start.
Yeah,
The game wasn't over until
yeah,
like 12:10, and then
that's
it took me
right.
about half an hour to get the parking lot, and it took me another half an hour to get from the stadium area, and now I'm home. Like it
Mm,
shouldn't take me that long. So I love
mm.
it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm excited to see what these Dodgers gonna look like. How many more games can they win? Can they win all 162 games this season? Are they gonna win 122 games this season? Like and still go out in the first round of playoffs. So who knows what's gonna happen with the Dodgers? Shohei hitting home runs in spring training. That's what Shohei does. Um, he's most likely not gonna pitch this season. And just interested in seeing what the rest of the rotation gonna look like. They are excited in LA. And
yeah. I mean, yep,
yeah,
as they should be, as they should be. And then you know what? A team like the San Diego Padres, you know, shouldn't feel no type of way. But
no,
they're looking down I-5 at the Dodgers, like, yo,
yeah,
they got it cracking.
yeah.
The Dodgers got it. They got abundance and abundance and abundance and abundance. They got Mookie Betts playing second base.
they
You know what I
they bring
mean?
anybody anywhere, so
They
it's crazy.
got Mookie Betts playing second base. like and again, I think the addition of Otani is going to put more people in the seats and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Um, I think that the Dodgers. How many games I think the Dodgers are going to win? They're going to win 100. They're going to win 110. I don't know because people get hurt.
They went 112, went
I
115.
mean, um, I'd
I don't
say
know.
I'd say 110, close to 110,
Mm, I,
close to 110.
it's amazing.
I don't think they're gonna really run I don't think they're gonna really run the table like that. I don't think they're gonna run the table like that. Like
Yeah,
no 120
it don't
and
matter.
I mean 120 and 42. Nah,
That's wild.
yeah,
That's
no,
wild.
what I'm saying. And again, I think that the record they might try to go after that record. The Yankees 125 games. You know what I
No, they're
mean?
going to watch. They're going to try.
That's gonna be the thing. But I feel like the Dodgers, the competition in the National League, um, we have to talk about the competition because again, the way the Dodgers are built, it's like they have no competition. Nobody's there. Like we're not gonna pay attention to the Phillies or the Braves. You know what I mean? The Brewers or the Cubs to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Even the Padres. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, it's not like people can't get it done against these Dodgers. It's just that they're a juggernaut right now on paper, Browski. On paper.
Yeah. That's exactly. That's all on paper because I mean they still got the same rotation. They
Yep.
just add for the Japanese guy, but it's still the same rotation. Clayton Kershaw is older. He's not the same
Oh yeah.
Clayton
Yeah.
Kershaw
Then they
of the
added
past.
Yamamoto. Right.
Yeah, and then we don't. Yeah, and then they got Yamamoto, but he hasn't faced these caliber hitters
Right.
here in the
That's right.
states. You
That's
know,
right.
how many Aaron Judge or Bryce Harper or Kyle Schwarbers or Arcia is over in Japan?
Mm.
You don't have these caliber of players over there like they're hitting the ball like these guys are hitting.
Right.
You don't got no Juan Soto's. You don't got no Arenado. You don't got guys like that over
Right.
there. So it's gonna be um a rude awakening for him and an adjustment for him also on that mound. So I don't see them as this irreversible, force up there. I feel like they're gonna be the Dodgers like they have always been. They
Right.
always been
Right.
a force up there in LA, winning
Mhm.
98 to 102, 105 games. And if we were looking at that record, then we would think that they have back to back World Series wins.
Right.
We'll think that they won the World Series last year and then the year before, or they was even in it, and they
Right.
wasn't. They wasn't.
Let's
They was
go.
at home watching it on TV. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all I got to say about baseball. We'll get into it more deeply as the spring training progress forward to the regular season, and we'll have our breakdowns for the teams on the National and American League, soon.
Let's get to this NBA situation. These referees. Listen here, listen here. The referees
Yo,
give it, and the referees take it away. The
but
New York
I
Knicks have
think
been involved. Huh?
was it the second time that the Knicks been
Yeah.
involved with something like this?
First one was against the Houston Rockets,
Yeah.
and this last night was against Detroit. And
So
again,
is Dane Dolan paying off the refs?
listen, I feel like if it was Antetokounmpo or anybody else that was caught up in it, because that was a foul.
That was a
However
clip.
you want,
He tackled him.
however
It
you
was,
yeah. Or he did. Or listen, the only thing he didn't have was a gun. That's the only thing he didn't have
yeah,
to
I'm
stick him
like,
up.
that's
That's the
what
only thing he
I'm
didn't
like. I'm looking at the refs like, so this is what we're doing now. But my thing is, these 2 minute reports, it doesn't change anything.
have.
And
Right,
and
right.
so why are you telling us things that we see with our own
And we
eyes
already
already?
know.
Saw
Right,
that there was a foul. So
right.
now you come out 2 days later and saying, "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, I
we
made a mistake. Yeah.
we
Hmm.
we rewatched the play and yeah, it should have been a foul. He should have been shooting 2 3 throws." But like I said, why are you telling us this? Because you're not going to go back and replay it,
Right.
or you're not going to add 2 points on the other team.
Hmm.
It's still an L in the book for that team. It's still a W for the other team. And as we talked about it, in previous shows about these referees, their actions affects a lot, not only just within the game, but with the organization. What if the coach would have got fired because they was on like a 10-game losing streak and they finally, oh, we about to, get this victory, and the ref takes the victory away, and guess what? Now he's out of a job. So what is you putting out this 2 minute report going to do? Is it going to get him rehired
Mm.
and be and like something have to be done? These refs need some type of punishment, and the only
And
way
I
for
don't
them
understand why they don't have any
they
recourse or
need to be
repercussions.
fined.
I mean, a fine is a fine, but at
That's
the
the
end
only
of the day,
way that
you
you
shouldn't
gotta
you,
talk to
you
their
shouldn't be
pocket.
out there. You shouldn't be out there, reffing games if you don't know what's going on and you fail to do your job. Because this is how I always felt about that. The referees, the umpires, the officials,
Yes.
they're the arbiters of the game. They're supposed to be above reproach. You know what I mean? When something goes on, you go to the referee. He tells you what to do. If a
Yeah.
referee doesn't know in certain situations, why are you out there? That's you got how you say you got one job.
You got one job. Only
You
job you
got one
got
job, yo.
is to pay attention and call it straight down the middle. But again, in these days and time, how life is, everybody got their hand in the cookie jar. We don't know these refs. These refs could be betting on the games. Can have somebody betting on the game, and all right, well, we need the Knicks to win by 2. We need to be a close game. We need to be this amount of points. But nothing's going to change until these refs, umps, officials are really held accountable for their actions.
Right.
And to me, the only way to hold them accountable is to reach in their pockets. Once you start taking people money and their bank accounts start getting a little low, now they're
Dwindling.
going to be able to pay attention. Now
Right.
they really going to start paying attention and maybe calling the game, down the middle or making the correct call. And it's just crazy that when we watch the replay, because we're watching the same thing the refs
Right.
are watching,
Right. Right. Right.
how are you not
Absolutely.
seeing this? And it's for you guys, plus the people in New York. It's 4 refs. It's the one sitting at the score table, the 3 on the floor, plus New York, who's streaming all the games, who's watching all the games.
Right, with that 9,000 cameras.
Exactly. And you telling me that you don't see the foul, but everybody in the arena, everybody who's sitting at home, who's watching it, is like, there
Waiting
you go.
for you to call the foul. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that's just wow. But you know what? It's just crazy that each of these is against, is the Knicks. So
Right.
again, here's just the question: is James Dolan putting some money in these refs' pockets? Do he have a little fun on the side for the refs? So at the end of the year, they got a little pot that they split up from James Dolan.
Well, if he was, he should have put some in the pocket against the Boston Celtics last night.
He said he can't make it obvious.
He can't do everything.
He can do it every game. That'd be too obvious. He can do every game now.
The NBA has been notorious for these referees. From Tim Donaghy to I got the referee who just abruptly retired because his Twitter burner account was found out, and it's a whole bunch of stuff going on that shouldn't be going on. And these referees, they're not supposed to be part of the game at all, but they find themselves in the middle. Instead of us talking about how the game was, we're talking about how the referee missed the call, or how the referee stopped the fight when there wasn't supposed to be a stop.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Again, we could, like you said, we could complain about it and talk about it until we turn blue in the face. But until something gets done, somebody has to pay a price for it. Somebody's got to be the fall guy. Who's going to be the first one to fall? Who's going to be the first chip to fall? It's not Tim Donaghy, because he did that himself. You know what I mean? And it wasn't the other guy. I forget his name right now. He blew his own spot up.
Yes,
so again, at the end of the day, you got these referees out here that are making these crazy calls in our face.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the simple fact that they're quote unquote professional and they know what they're doing. Do they really know what they're doing? Or they just out there filling up a spot? I'm talking about NFL referees.
Oh, it was Eric Lewis.
Umpires.
Eric Lewis. What I'm saying? Eric Lewis is the ref that had the burner account. Eric Lewis.
Okay. I'm talking about all these referees.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Where
all of them.
They make themselves the centerpiece and the subject of the game instead of the two teams who were playing and trying to win and doing what they need to do to move on. Now you got a referee who missed a blatant easy call, and then 2 days later he's gonna apologize for it.
Yeah,
and life goes on.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Down in Sports Talk, man, we in the building. It's Tuesday night, as it were. You know what I mean? You got Left-Handed at RM Des on Twitter, myself, and then you got my ubiquitous Cody in the building right here. Yana Bears in the house holding me down. Shout out to Windwalker, man, wherever you are, B. Salute.
Yeah, man.
All right. Salute to, everybody out there that's doing their thing, man, trying to, make things happen. Shout out to my man, Florida Boy Jay. Shout out to a couple of other cats, man, who make their thing happen as far as just social media, internet things concerned, because how we do it. Once a week, we're in the building, making it happen, talking to it how it's supposed to be talked to, myself and Yada Bear. As far as the NBA is concerned, real talk, you got Draymond Green going against Jordan Poole tonight. The Warriors playing the Washington Wizards.
That should be interesting.
That should be very interesting. What do you think in regards to how TNT played Shaq on his jersey retirement with the Orlando Magic?
Yeah, I thought that was a little crazy. I didn't expect it. I thought it was a little crazy, but
I mean, to me, what was they supposed to do? Like, I get, that's not going to be a little 5-10 minute, ceremony. That's going to be a ceremony that's going to stretch out for, half hour, maybe longer. So you do it after the game. And if TNT had a double header schedule for that night, they had to go to the game.
You got to cut it. So
Yeah,
I think it was, if you want to place fault with somebody, you got to place fault with the Orlando Magic and TNT for not, communicating and setting up the proper time to have this ceremony. They could have. I mean, TNT. How many specials they didn't have? They could have. They could have had like gave it like a half an hour before inside the NBA. Have the ceremony going into inside the NBA. Going into the pre-show and
that's
then
fair.
then going to the games. So I gotta put blame on both sides. If like I said, it was a little wild because I didn't expect that, and it was like boom, straight to the game. I said, oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But like you said, they got to go to the game.
Television. It's television.
Yeah, it's television. They got to go to the game. So
You know what I mean?
it's both their fault.
They're
They
not
should have
they're not
coordinated.
they're not they're not contractually obligated to show Shaq's retirement ceremony.
Exactly. So they should have coordinated better. They could have did
Yeah,
it as a special.
yeah.
They give
I mean
special. They
when
give
you
special
said
for anything.
you could have did it before the game. That sounds like the most feasible idea. Do it before the game.
Do it,
You
yes,
know what I
do it
mean?
before the game. Like that's what I said. Like they could have had a whole special. We're gonna do the Shaq jersey retirement before the game. Have do what you want to do. Have people speak. Just let the fans know. Hey, if you wanna be there when Shaq get his jersey retired, you need to get to the stadium by 6:30. People would have came. Just let it be known.
So,
But that's the organization fault, and TNT fault. But whatever, it's over. It's retired.
yeah, and I'm looking at my Knicks, man. I'm like right now we're in that dry spell right now. You know what I mean? And
Well, listen, we in no man's land right now because we don't have
look,
Joel. So it's like,
y'all might have to end up playing, for y'all playoff life in that play-in, and
hey,
that'd be terrible. That and that would
it may
parallel the
happen.
Eagles. The Eagles and the Sixers had the same season.
Listen, it may happen right now. Right now, we in the fifth spot. We're playing against Boston right now. It's not looking really good. I mean, it's a close game, but I mean, without Joel, we're not a complete team, and it's still going to be a little weird when he comes back because we're not going to be in sync because he's been off, and then we got new players here that they haven't played together. So it is what it is. But can we please, real quick, can we? I know we mentioned Draymond earlier, but can we talk about his comments about Grant Williams, which I thought were completely spot on?
Let's go.
Like how all of these guys all of a sudden will be tough guys. You know, first we got Dylan Brooks. He's playing the tough guy role. He's it's okay, but it's still a little out there. But then you have Grant
Suspect.
Williams,
Mhm.
who we seen with the Boston Celtics for years. He wasn't really that real tough guy with Boston because Marcus Smart always played that role. So to see him trying to play that tough role persona out here, it does come off extremely fake. And as Draymond stated, it's probably the reason why you're no longer on the Dallas Mavericks team because it was kind of weird. You was being weird there. And so now you're in Charlotte, a place where careers go to die right now,
Mm.
and you got this tough guy persona going on that's not really you. And Draymond's like, but he's actually a really good guy. So for him to do this is weird. And as Draymond said, it's not fun on this side of the NBA. It's not fun
Right.
being hated. Everybody can't handle that.
Right.
Why would you want to position yourself in that category? It's weird to me. And I just thought Draymond comments was spot on, and and I've been noticing it all season. How you feel about that? That the Grant
Um,
Williams?
I think again, it's not easy to spot the fugaziness.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spot it. You know what I mean? And when people are themselves and they come off as, oh, he thinks he's tough. But
Mm-hmm.
then in the Grant Williams case, it's like, Well, he's acting. Why is he acting tough? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So again, like in the Draymond Green scenario, that's his deal. You know what I
that's
mean?
him.
He was before he snuffed Jordan Poole, he was kicking people in the Bozak, and he was punching people
Yeah,
in the Bozak, and he
yeah,
was losing
he was doing wild
championships
stuff out there.
with the Warriors. Again, that's his thing. But
Yeah,
again, you can nitpick that if you want, because Draymond knows how he picks his spots too.
yeah,
I ain't never
yeah.
seen him run up on Giannis. You know what I
Well,
mean?
he
But
knows who
at
to
the
do
end of the
it.
day, Grant Williams, these guys are let's see, what did Austin Powers say? They're Diet Coke of tough guys. They're margarine of tough guys. You know what I mean? They're tough
Yeah.
guy lights. You know what I mean? These guys just want to get their name in the paper. They
Mhm.
want people talking about them. They know how they say it. They're not really. Well, shout out to my man Master P. They're not body. You know what I mean?
No,
So
no, they're not.
they're doing it because they're a big guy. You're in Charlotte. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Michael Jordan not this. You can talk all the jokes you want.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just weird seeing that, and it's just and I'm happy that Draymond called him out, pointed out, like put him on
And
front.
Draymond's the one to do it. And
Yeah,
they say real recognize fake too.
sure does, sure
You know what
does.
I mean? So and what he gonna say? What he gonna say to Draymond Green? Nothing.
He gonna say I'm tough.
Nothing. He ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? Oh man, come on, man, come on, bro. Nah, bro, no, no. You out here
Yeah,
perpetrating fraud.
yeah,
Score a basket. Play some defense.
exactly.
You know what I
Um,
mean? You out here trying want to be gangster boogie. Come on, son.
yeah. Well, we all know he's fake, but let's move on to the court storming. I mean, we
Yeah,
see
the court storming
that's the
issue.
that's the hot topic going on
Yeah,
now.
that's the topic du jour.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'll let you do what you got to do. Speak to it because I
Well,
got some things I want to say about that.
sure. So, we talked about it behind the scenes, and I threw out a couple suggestions, saying that maybe they can organize a way where they can, rope off like where the student section is, like if the road team is on the verge of upsetting like the number one seed or a top seed, if the other team is unseeded, like rope off the student section, because in college basketball, Jimmy, when the away team is there, their students, they have a certain section where the away team fans are at. So I figure, maybe they could rope it off and have like a protocol where the team that lost get ushered off the court so that they can let them rush on the court to celebrate, because this obviously is now a hot topic, because beginning of the couple months ago, we see Iowa go down, and in the women's side, they stormed the court, and someone bumped into Caitlin Clark and she fell down. So they made
Yeah,
a
they act like she got shot.
yeah,
I
they,
was
they
like,
made
come
a
on.
they made a big deal about that, and
Yeah,
then
yo.
like a week ago, it happened again when Duke lost,
Yeah.
and they
Kyle
stormed the
Filipowski.
court.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kel Posse got hurt his knee. He had to get helped off the court while the students were storming the court. So I mean, what I was saying to the left is that people been storming the courts forever, right?
Yep.
We established that, and I feel like it's only a big deal right now because, as I stated, a couple weeks ago, men's college basketball is trash right now. So
Mm.
now we have to hum into this small little issue that isn't really an issue. They make it into an issue that's been going on for years. And I get it, sometimes some certain traditions have to change. That's why I suggest, maybe roping off this section and just giving the other team time to get off the court real quick, and then let the students come on the court to avoid any type of conflict, anybody getting hurt, things like that. But in my mind, They're only talking about this because there's nothing to talk about in college basketball. Each week they got another number one seed. Each week a number one seed loses. The tournament is about to start soon, and they don't even know who the number one overall seed is going to be. It
Gonna
could be
be
anybody. You
right.
can you like I said, you can
That's
get
right.
a pot of spaghetti, get a handful of noodles, throw it against the wall, and whoever stick is the number one overall seed. That's the problem. I see no issue with court storming. I don't think they should get rid of it. They could probably alter it a little bit, but the fact of the matter is, college basketball is trash. It's nothing for us to talk about on the men's side. I keep telling y'all they need to focus on women's college basketball because that's where all the smoke is at. The men's side is trash. And it's so sad to say because it is February the 27th. We should be hype and charged and ready for March Madness, you know?
Right. Conference tournaments. Yep. Conference tournaments. Yep.
Conference tournaments is about to start within like the next week or so. We should be
Mm-hmm.
hype and charged.
Yep.
But guess
But
what?
we
Talking
are
about
hyped to charge.
court
We are hyped to charge for the conference tournaments, the women's conference tournaments.
yes.
You know
Because
what I
the
mean?
SEC tournament gonna be fire. The
Yo,
Pac-12
the
tournament
SEC
gonna
tournament's
be
gonna be crazy.
fire.
The
Big
Big Ten
Ten,
tournament's gonna be crazy.
yes.
Iowa, Ohio State, that's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of those conferences, the ACC is gonna be off the hook. The Pac-12
ACC
is gonna be
gonna
off
be
the hook.
yes.
It's gonna be bananas. What I think for the first time in years, and remind me, Browski, before I finish up, they gotta talk about the 96 teams. They want to expand the tournament to 96. Like for the first time in years, man, that women's selection thing that they have after Selection Sunday is
Yeah.
going to be people going to be on that. You know what I mean?
Listen, they
Because they
need to
want to see
flip. They need
like
to flip it this year. They need to
you
flip it this
you,
year.
you want to see who is going to end up playing who and what region they're
Yeah.
in, what side of the bracket they're going to be on. So that's going to be very interesting. For men's college basketball, like you said, Kimmy, not so much.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Houston, Purdue,
Who?
UConn, like,
Connecticut.
you know
Like,
what
come
I
on.
mean? And now we just wait for who's going to be the surprise team to come at us that nobody saw coming. You know what I mean? As
All
far as
right.
that's concerned. But on the women's side, you got South Carolina and everybody else.
Listen, that SEC tournament gonna
Yeah.
be just about March Madness
Tennessee,
because
LSU,
Tennessee,
South
LSU,
Carolina, Auburn,
oh,
Alabama.
there you
It's going to
go.
be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. And then, like we said, the Pac-12,
Yeah.
Colorado,
Yeah.
UCLA,
Yep.
USC,
USC. Yep.
Stanford,
Yep. Stanford.
Maryland.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it's gonna be
Absolutely.
crazy.
It's
It's
gonna be bananas, yo.
I am so excited for this year's women's college basketball tournament. Like I've been hype and charged for it for the past, but for this season right here, because it's always maybe like 5 teams. Like, oh, well, these are the top 5 teams.
Right.
Now you got like 15. I mean, I gotta say,
Baylor,
you got the whole top 25.
Washington State. Yep.
Yeah, you got the
Absolutely.
whole top 25, could be interchanged. And as you said, it's what South Carolina versus everybody. That's what it's like right now. I mean, they're going in there projected to be the number one overall seed, as
Right.
they should be, 27-0, and like they are. And it's like when they go in this SEC tournament, they don't even have to win the tournament to not be the number one overall seed. But for them to go in there, and if they go in there to win the tournament and to win the whole thing, it's going to be crazy. That you
Yeah.
got to put Dawn Staley in that list of
that'll
all-time
be
great coaches.
that'll be another year that Angel Reese and Caitlin
Caitlin
Clark.
Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't get it. So now it's like, what do we do now? Does Caitlin Clark stay another year, or does she go to the WNBA?
I feel like you
No,
got to
no
go to the
one wants
WNBA.
in front of her. No one wants in front of her. South Carolina ain't going nowhere.
South
Dawn
Carolina
Staley
going
ain't
nowhere.
going nowhere.
Yeah. So
Um, I wanted to use that for my get down on it, but no, I got something else for the get down on it. Listen,
Go ahead.
man, I was around when the NCAA tournament was 32 teams. That was like way back in the 1900s, right? People went crazy when they said it was going to be 48.
Mhm.
People went berserk when they said it was going to be 64.
Mhm.
People was talking in tongues when they said it was going to be 68. So now they want to go from 68 to 96.
That's wild.
Is that the ultimate participation trophy?
Yes, it is.
Orange slice? Like,
So
what are we doing?
wait. So you telling me that it's no longer going to be March Madness because you're going to have to play some games in February. So now you
Right.
pushing
Yeah.
everything up, or
Yep.
you pushing it back. March is generally the month that's highlighted for college basketball. So you telling me it's going to be 96 teams? It's no longer going to be March Madness anymore. We're going to be playing the tournament in what, June, April, June, May? Like it's going to be
96 teams in the
that's
NCAA tournament.
that's crazy. That is crazy. That's
And,
I
and, and
that's
as,
just
as
crazy.
as passionately as we say that's crazy, that's the way it was when we did it for 48 to 64. Like, what
No,
are you doing?
yeah, I hear you, but
You know what I'm saying?
68
But
teams,
96,
90.
96 teams?
Why stop at 96? Why not just
Right.
make it a play 100?
100. Why not? Why stop at 100? Make it 150.
Matter of
Why stop
fact,
at 150? Every school
if
in
I say make
America is
every
eligible for the
school
NCAA tournament.
eligible for the NCAA tournament, so that means this
Everybody,
tournament goes on all year long.
all year long.
That's crazy.
Um,
96 teams is wild
yeah, 96. Like
because
what? They don't have enough. They don't have enough networks to put
listen, I'm not
96
just
teams in
saying,
the
they
NCAA
don't got
tournament.
enough networks for 916. They don't have enough teams to be good enough to be in the top 25
96
right now.
teams.
And you telling me you want 96 teams in the tournament? I can't give. We're interchanging number one seeds every other day. But you telling me you got 96 good teams that we want to sit here and watch? You have community colleges. Let me
Right.
find out Philadelphia Community College going to be
Junior
in the
colleges,
NCAA.
culinary schools,
Culinary
barber
trade,
barber
trade
colleges,
schools,
all
trade
all of
schools,
that. All of
auto
that.
auto
Yep.
schools. That's
All of
that's
that.
too many. That's too many schools. I can't. I cannot.
It's crazy. It's getting like you said earlier in the show. It's ridiculous, yo. It's
It's
getting ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Down at In Sports Talk, man. We here on Tuesday nights. Myself and Yada Bear. We in the building. What we getting down on this week, Browski?
I am getting down on the scoring in women's college basketball. We have two two women right now. Who's on top of college basketball. You got Caitlin Clark. She came out, broke Kelsey Plum record. Um, she's a top of the game. But then you also have her name is escaping my mind, from out of Syracuse.
Fair. Fair.
Daisha Fair. She
Yes.
just passed Brittany Grinder as number 5 on the all-time scoring list, and is also a possibility for Caitlin Clark to actually pass Pete Maravich scoring record. She's 72 points away. There's still a couple more games left, in the season, that she can possibly pass the record. I mean, when she broke Kelsey Plum's record, she scored 49 points. So it's not crazy of me to think that she can't pass his record, because she put up 250 pieces, or she put up a 40 and a 30 something piece. She passes the record. So it's just great seeing these records being broken. It's great seeing women's college basketball being highlighted. and talked about more on mainstream media right now, because again, men college basketball is trash. And um it's just exciting to see. I love seeing them on our national networks. The other day, LSU was playing Tennessee. You see
Right.
Angel Reese, getting at it at the free throw line, talking trash. I just love the competitive nature that's going on. And as we stated before, I can't wait for the tournament. I definitely advise everybody, if you're not watching women's college basketball, you're definitely missing
Yep.
good games, great competition, and you're just behind the eight ball. Like, these women out here are balling like crazy. The games are super competitive and super entertaining.
Mm.
And I've said it here, say it again. Definitely watch it. And you know, even when I was talking about the scoring list, we had mentioned Juju, who's putting on a
Juju Watkins
show.
from USC. Mm-hmm.
You watch it, yeah. She put on a show at USC. She passed Cheryl Miller by having the most consecutive 30+ point games. And she's only a freshman. So she's putting up 30+ points, 40 some points here and there. So for me to think that, she could be the next one to, be on this list, she might be within the top five or even overtake Caitlin Clark's spot at top the way that she's scoring. Um, and one other thing I want to get down on, we
Mm-hmm.
mentioned a little bit, is the fact that the NFL Combine is coming up starting this Thursday. But my gripe and beef with the Combine has always been, if you get invited and you accept the invitation, you should have to participate in all drills. I'm tired of these quarterbacks saying, "Oh, well, I'm gonna go to the Combine, but I'm not gonna throw."
Right.
But then don't accept the invitation, because only a certain amount of people gets invited. So if you're not gonna do everything, then don't go. Maybe somebody else, will take that spot and will participate in all the drills. What
Mm-hmm.
makes you so special, Caleb Williams, that you don't want to throw, you
Right.
know, at the combine? You know what?
Especially how you look this year, my guy.
Exactly. So you should
Especially
want
the
to
way
be
you
out
look
there.
this
You should
year.
want to be out there to throw the ball. Like,
Yep.
you telling me, oh, I don't want to throw the ball. I'm gonna wait to the pro day. To me, that's corny. That's cap. That making me feel like, well, maybe you don't really want to play. What's going on with you? What's going on with your arm? It was somebody else. I had a list. It was another guy that said that they wasn't going to throw. Caleb, Drake May, and Jalen Daniels. Why are you guys not throwing? Jalen Daniels, you
Jalen
just won the
Daniels not
highest.
going to throw because he won the
Yeah,
Heisman Trophy. I don't know
yeah.
what Drake May problem is. He need to be
Why
throwing with both his hands.
they? Are you afraid that you're going to be exposed? Is that
Mm.
what it is? So I just feel like I don't know how everybody else feel, but I feel as though if you accept the invitation to go to the combine, that you should be forced. It should be mandatory that you participate in every last drill. If you can't participate, then don't accept the invitation and don't go. That's what I'm getting down on.
I hear that. What am I getting down on? I'm getting down on this documentary about the Montreal Expos.
Oh
It's
yeah,
been long overdue. I can't wait to see it. I feel
yeah.
like the Montreal Expos, they had I'm going back now because I'm going back because I liked the Expos.
Mhm.
Um, they had the powder blue uniforms. They
They
had
had fire
squad.
uniform. There's
Huh?
fire. So the
Yeah,
uniform is
they
fire,
had
man.
squad. And again, as a baseball dude from way back when you could name those guys that were on those other teams, then you know that they were good. The Expos had guys like Warren Cromartie, Andre Dawson, Gary Carter, of course. One of my favorite, Dave Cash at second base. They had a fan base that was loyal to a fault. They had one of the illest mascots, Yuppie. He got into a
Mm-hmm.
fight with Tom Sword. It was crazy. Like the
Yeah.
Montreal Expos were one of those teams that people wanted to play there. They didn't want to play there. They got the Olympic Stadium after the Olympics had left the '76 Olympics. They moved it to the Olympic Stadium, which was like to me a bad move because that was a cavern. You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get nothing done there, but Rick Monday did. But that's another story. The Montreal Expos, man, they're one of the teams to me that when they disbanded, it was crazy. I didn't want to see the Montreal Expos go. Shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, they got a couple of championships and stuff like that. But I would have loved to see that World Series in '94
Mm-hmm.
because the season it was no World Series in 1994. It was going to be the Montreal Expos with Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez and Larry Walker. You know what I mean? Against the
Stack
Yankees.
team.
Yeah. So that was the
Stack
World Series
team.
that never happened. So I'm excited about this documentary that's coming up about the Montreal Expos. They had one of the most unique logos, right? Getting
Yeah.
front on it. EB Expos Baseball couldn't front on it. Loyal fan base, great, great team. The ownership was but again, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if you get a chance, watch that documentary because it's going to be very, very dope, and that's what I'm getting down on.
All right.
So that is the show for tonight. I am left-handed at RM That's on Twitter. That's my code D in the building. Make sure you get at Yada Bear. 6 zeros is in the house. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
always.
And again, we got products, y'all. You know what I mean? We got products, man.
That logo. There you go.
Yeah, shout out to was Queen Key, right?
Yep. Queen
Shout out,
King resin.
shout out Queen Key, man. You know what I mean? We blowing you up right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
You
can
know,
check
so
out
it's
Queen Key
a very
resin on Instagram and on
absolutely,
TikTok.
absolutely. It's some very nice things in here. Very nice, very nice, very nice. But yeah, so that's the show for tonight. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Get at us, YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard, all that good stuff. We on Twitter all the time. This one's over here is on 6 zeros all the time. So make sure you get at us. Don't go nowhere. We out, y'all. Salute. We'll see y'all next week. Baseball preview comes soon. All right.
96 teams is crazy.
A-Rod got hit with some coffee beans, man.
That's crazy. Fell asleep in the sun.
What the hell is going on with A-Rod?